Because it's almost that time. I didn't get the 2-minute warning. There's only a minute left.
You're missing all the warnings.
Yeah.
See? It's your fault.
I was going to leave it on purpose right before. I know I got 30 seconds.
I'm ready.
Welcome to the City of Pinellas Parks City Council meeting. Our city offers superior parks, premium recreational services, exceptional public safety resources, optimal investment opportunities, and more. Our mayor and city council welcomes you to tonight's meeting.
Good evening. It is Thursday, August 22nd of 2024, 6 p.m. We are calling to order a city council meeting. We will have an invocation and a pledge of allegiance. Our invocation this evening will be delivered by Michael Wilsbach of Calvary Chapel, located on US 19 in Pinellas Park. Please rise if you wish.
Let's pray. So, Lord, we're just thankful for this day, Lord, and we just are glad and rejoice in the day that you have provided for us, Lord. And tonight, I just pray for the city council meeting tonight, Lord, that you would give the mayor and the council members wisdom and guidance as they deliberate on the items before them. May every decision tonight be righteous in your sight for our benefit, but for your glory, Lord. And I also want to lift up our firefighters and our police officers, Lord, that you would continue to protect them as they selflessly serve our community. And we ask these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We do not have any proclamations or presentations this evening. So the next item on our agenda is to allow citizens to come up and speak on any item that is not on the agenda, if they would like to do so. Seeing none, we have quasi-judicial items. So I would like for anybody who is going to speak on a quasi-judicial item to please stand and be sworn in.
You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to section 2, approval of minutes. Councilmember Butler.
Mayor, make a motion to approve regular council minutes of the August 8th, 2024 meeting as on file in the city clerk's office.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, and also mark your calendars. Aye.
Aye.
All right.
Motion carry unanimously.
Thank you. I'm going to just kind of turn this around real quick. For the future, our citizens will be able, while they're watching us, also have the opportunity to see our votes actually cast. So that's the reason why I was saying to mark their votes. Thank you. Moving on to section 3, public hearings, item P1, ordinance number 4270.
Ordinance number 4270, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Pinellas Park, Pinellas County, Florida, pertaining to the operation of the potable water, reclaimed water, and sanitary sewer utility systems, adopting potable water, reclaimed water, and sanitary sewer utility rates and utility connection charges and deposits previously established by Resolution number 23-11, amending charges pertaining to potable water backflow preventers, sanitary sewer connection charges, and required deposits, providing for appeal of Resolution 23-11, providing for appeal of all other resolutions or parts of resolutions conflicting herewith to the extent of such conflict, providing for severability, providing for an effective date.
Thank you. Item P1, ordinance number 4270, public hearing, second and final reading. I am opening the public hearing and turning it over to Ryan.
Good evening, Council. Thank you so much for this opportunity to present this information. Basically, I'd like to start off with this first slide here where we're discussing backflow preventers and the install charges. On this current slide, we're not proposing any changes. More or less, this is a house cleaning item. in which case we want to make sure that these rates fall under the ordinance, all under one ordinance where all those fees will be adjusted. So again, these rates are no changes proposed. And then we'll go to the next slide here. Here we're discussing the sanitary sewer connection charges. Currently, the sewer connection charge per single family unit, it's equivalent up to and including 10 fixtures. We charge $700 for that connection. Each additional fixture beyond that 10 is a charge of $70 per fixture. The sewer connection charges per the commercial unit is also $700, with each additional fixture being $70. What we're proposing for every applicant, these charges that we're proposing would include up to 10 fixtures. And each additional fixture for every applicant would be $100 after those 10 fixtures. And the rates are as follows. For single family residents, it's $2,060. For a multiple family dwelling unit, it's $1,643. A mobile home space in a park is $1,540 each. Commercial and industrial and miscellaneous buildings are $2,060 each. And for any tap installation fees, that is when the city needs to provide a tap, we will charge cost. That's when the city provides that tap, with no minimum being below $2,000. So these are the proposed changes. Be happy to entertain any questions.
Does City Council have any questions for Wayne? I do.
Okay.
What is the difference between a multifamily dwelling unit, and I'm assuming that's per unit, and a
Yes.
single family home? Why would it cost more for the single family home?
So multifamily dwelling unit is like your development of apartments or building developments, townhomes, everything like that. And the thought behind that is a lot of those types of privately owned facilities have their own privately owned sewer infrastructure within it. And so there comes a lot of maintenance that comes with their own privately owned that they would be responsible for maintaining in their own infrastructure, their own sewer lines, their own manholes inside of specific apartment complexes or things like that. And it's almost like a buy in bulk type scenario too, where you come in and you establish so many different, residencies like that we're going to get them for each one, but they go a little bit cheaper, probably because of the private side of it having to be maintained on their own dime, not on the city's.
What if it was a single family home subdivision?
A single family home subdivision would still be the single family residence fee, I think.
Even if they're putting in their own manholes and cleanouts and things of that nature as well?
Yes.
I don't think that's quite right.
That's
That's my opinion.
Listen, that might be something that I'll go back and double check on, and then I'll get back.
I would appreciate that, because we've had a couple of subdivisions that, like the old Salvation Army property.
Right.
That's a gated community. I'm sure they put in a lot of those items themselves.
Yeah.
And, if there's 15 homes there, I don't think that they should be charged more versus a 15 apartment unit or a 15 townhome unit.
Right.
Because it's the same thing at that point in time.
That makes
If
sense.
it was a single family home tapping into ours, I would understand. But if it's a subdivision, they
Yep.
would be required by our departments to be putting in
Right.
all of those items themselves first.
Right. And I understand your point. That makes sense. I will get back to you on that.
Thank you.
As the mayor was asking, Salvation Army, where that is, who maintains
the water system in there? We do.
We do, yeah.
Who maintains the sewer in there? We
We
do.
do.
Well,
that's
I
it.
know some properties have lift stations on their property, some don't.
Right.
And that's the
It
reason
wou-
why I was asking those
Yeah,
questions.
it wouldn't be Salvation Army.
I was just using them as an example because of it being a subdivision with a gated community
Yeah.
versus,
Trying
You
to
end up
think.
actually paying more because they have multiple taps.
Yeah.
Is the way it works out. That's why it's pretty much that. And really what Ryan's done is followed pretty much every, municipality in the area. When's the last time we updated this, Ryan? Was it
It's at least 2013.
2013?
At least 2013.
Yeah.
I think Mr. Hubbard had Aaron look into it was 1998 was the last time
98.
it was updated. And
Yeah.
and the other thing to keep in mind is this doesn't affect most of our residents. This is single family residents, but this is mostly for contractors.
Yeah.
It won't
Well,
affect
that's
this
the reason why I was asking for the clarification on that.
I'd be happy to provide it.
Nick?
Nick Colon, Community Development Administrator. Just on the update clarification, there's actually been, Aaron did some, Aaron's a good researcher, did some great digging. 1996 was the fees were originally established then in 1996. In 2013, there was an update, not a full update, but you had essentially two times you raised it in the 30-year span.
Yeah, because I know I raised it twice.
Yeah.
Was it 90? I do have a question for you. Have we ever thought about, like, on the fire systems, coming up with a fee for testing them annually? That's something I always thought about because the fire department requires them to have their system tested.
Mhm.
So, either we can put a fee on that or have their contractor who tests their fire system test the device and give us a report.
Are you referring to like fire flow tests?
I'm talking about 6-inch double checks, 8-inch double checks, 10-inch double checks. What the chief would be more familiar. I'm not talking about the residential homes.
Right.
I'm just talking about fire systems.
Yeah, for the sprinklers.
Yes.
Yeah, no, that's something that I don't have an immediate response on, but that is something that is definitely worth the conversation.
Yeah, I looked at that, and it seems like all the other municipalities are requiring that for their contractor. They'll go up. St. Pete will go out there for a fee, but they'll also take an approved
Mhm.
test
Yeah.
sheet for their record.
No, sir.
But you are.
So, Councilman, Vice Mayor, I just want to make sure that I know exactly what you're asking. You're talking, so on a private property infrastructure, they have to annually get tested their water system. They already pay a contractor for that. We get those reports annually already.
Yeah, but I don't think they test the double checks. I think they just test the fire sprinkling system.
They test the sprinkler
The alarm
system and they test the hydrant system and the alarm system.
Right, but not the double
And you're probably right that there is not a testing on the double checks.
Right,
That's not required as part of our ordinance or Florida Fire Code
correct.
currently. So that would have to be something separately we would have to establish by ordinance in the
Yeah.
city, which we don't currently do.
Right, okay. I know
So it's not in the Florida Fire Code as of
No,
today.
it's not as
Not
part
in
of the
the fire code.
required annual testing. I don't believe, and I will do research on that to make sure that I'm not saying that wrong, but we don't get any reports on the double checks.
Right.
We get reports on the hydrant flows, the static and residual
Yep.
pressures
Yep.
of the system,
You have no.
the ability of the standpipe system and sprinkler system on
We got
pressure.
Lauren, Lauren.
No, I don't get a report. There's no report on the double check, but I'll make sure I check that.
Yeah, my point was that same contractor who's verifying the sprinkler system is also certified to test the double check, so we wouldn't have to go out there and do it. They could just give us that report also.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we can make a fee up to go out there and
Right.
charge them for it. Might be something to look to in the
I
future.
understand what you're saying. Yeah, it's a good idea. I think we do. We obviously do our own inspections on that, but I don't know to what standard it's held. And
Right.
that's where we'll have to definitely do a little
Yep.
bit more research into it.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
And
Sorry,
any additional information for the presentation?
this was
Because I
it.
kind of stopped you.
No, this was it.
This is it. Okay.
Trying to keep it short and sweet.
Thank you. We do have a few questions in the audience, I believe. Thank you. Name and address for the record.
Licensed fire sprinkling contractor.
Can I have name and address for the record, please?
Douglas Mitchell, #1 Cushman Place, Pinellas Park.
Thank you.
I'm a licensed fire sprinkling contractor, semi-retired. We double check, or we check the double checks, not for flow or for backflow prevention per se, because most backflow preventers are monitored electronically with the fire system. Now, if you're talking about checking the backflow preventive action, that has to be done by somebody that's licensed with the proper equipment to do that, and that's totally irrelevant of any contractor, fire sprinkling wise, to do that. Somebody has to be certified to do that.
I didn't know you were still here. It's good to see you, my friend.
Thank you.
But most plumbers and fire sprinkler companies do have the certification for backflow testing, reverse flow.
Okay, as long as they have that, that's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah. No, they have to be certified. Yes.
Yeah, because they got to be certified to do it.
Yep, absolutely. Good to see you.
Is there anybody else in the audience that has any questions on that? Name and address for the record, please.
Okay, it's 7239 34th Street North, Pinellas Park. My only question, Mr. Mayor, is I'm just looking at the figures, right? And I was just wondering, I mean, it's 2.5 times, right, the current to proposed figures. And I was just wondering when the current was actual, in place. I mean, the figures was in place. I mean, I understand, the economy and the way it is, and it's probably legitimate, the proposed figures. And I'm sure it's not unreasonable, but I'm just saying, I mean, it looks like a really big hike. But like I say, I mean, to me, I'm just a citizen and I really don't have anything to do with any of this. But, I just like, when you look at you look at it and you say, single family unit, and then you look at the other thing, you see single family residence. I mean, what is the big difference? I don't understand that part, but I mean, there could be a big difference. I don't know. But from 700 to 2,000, that's 2.5 times difference. So when was the current enacted from the proposed? So, I mean, a lot of people aren't going to understand that. When the current was enacted from the proposed. So I'm just saying, people have to understand that. And if they do, then there's no problem. But, I mean, that's a big hike. And, I mean.
Sir, could we have your name for the record?
Robert Boyer.
Thank you.
Okay, so I mean, that's all I'm saying. People if they understand it, then there's no problem. But people are scared. So
I hear you, Robert. That number would be scary to me too if I was just looking at that slide for the first time. But I do want to make sure that this point here is clear. This isn't really directed at the residents. This is directed at the developers that come in that need new taps, that are building a home on a lot. So maybe we've seen an example of somebody buying up 2 or 3 lots and then they put, an extra house there in that space. Well, it's that fee that we're catching there. If a resident buys into a house that already has that connection, that's not that fee.
And that's why we're here tonight, because there's developers right down from where we live, and they're building like crazy down there, right? And that's why we're here tonight, because the girl with me, she thinks we're getting charged extra for their developing. Yeah. But that's not the case. Like he says, it's for the developers that are building.
Yeah.
And also, Ryan, can you give the dates? When's the last time?
Yeah, and you were talking about when the current was.
I bet you it's been a long time.
1998. I mean, it's been over.
Right. Well,
yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's been a long time.
Yeah.
This is 2024.
So.
I mean, that's 26 years ago that current was, So that, I understand that now. So, okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
See, so, all right. Thank you. Mr. Mayor.
Is there anybody else in the audience that has any questions on this item? Seeing none, I will close the public hearing at its second and final reading and entertain a motion. Vice Mayor Seville.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to make a motion to pass ordinance number 4270, public hearing, second and final reading.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And your machine? Aye.
Motion carry unanimously.
Thank you. Moving on to section 4, our consent agenda items.
Item number C1 is resolution number 24-13, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Pinellas Park, Pinellas County, Florida, endorsing the Advantage Pinellas Housing Action Plan and Pinellas County Joint Resolution 23-25, providing for severability, providing for an effective date. Item number C2 is release of unity of title for lots 23 and 24 for the property located at 8800 60th Street North, which was recorded as a part of OR Book 6249, page 699. Item number C3 is to accept with regret the resignation of Munaf Kapadio from the Planning and Zoning Committee. Item number C4 is authorization for the mayor to sign an affidavit of ownership for parcel number 28-30-16-71064-000-0030. Item number C5 is resolution number 24-14, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Pinellas Park, Pinellas County, Florida, adopting a 3-year agreement between the City of Pinellas Park, Florida, and the Fraternal Order Police Lodge 43 police officers, which agreement is for the period October 1st, 2024 through September 30th, 2027, providing for an effective date. Item number C6 is resolution number 24-15, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Pinellas Park, Pinellas County, Florida, adopting a 3-year agreement between the City of Pinellas Park, Florida, and the Fraternal Order Police Lodge 43 police sergeants, which agreement is for the period October 1st, 2024 through September 30th, 2027, providing for an effective date. Item number C7 is authorization for the mayor to sign an agreement for ancillary services provided by the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office, and the cost of those services is $756,633.35. Item number C8 is the rejection of all bids, number 24.006 for the modular shoot house. Item number C9 is to approve authorizations to purchase under the City of Clearwater Contract 20-0026-EN sidewalk services provided by Central Florida Contractors, Inc. in an amount not to exceed $475,000 for fiscal year 23-24 and fiscal year 24-25. Item number C10 is to approve authorization for approval and acceptance of final payment for the installation of fencing at Beacon Run Ponds bid 23-0054-ITB services for a total contract amount of $94,593, and authorization for final payment to Smith Industries, Inc., DBA is Smith Fence Company. Item number C11 is to approve authorization for City Council to approve the non-ad valorem assessment roll and exemptions for fiscal year 2024-2025, and authorization for the mayor to execute the certificate of to non-ad valorem assessment roll. Item number C12 is to approve authorization to administer stormwater utility fee mitigation credit program as adopted in ordinance number 4269. Item number C3 is to approve authorization for 66th Street and Brian Dairy Road manhole emergency repairs to be conducted by Roland DE LLC and Vortex Services LLC in an amount not to exceed $1,100,000. Item number C14 is resolution number 24-16, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Pinellas Park, Pinellas County, Florida, designating James W. Denhart as City Attorney and Zoe Rawls as Assistant City Attorney, expressing appreciation to Lauren Chris Rubenstein for her services as City Attorney, providing that this resolution supersedes any prior resolutions, and appointing City Attorneys any prior resolutions appointing city attorneys or assistant city attorneys, providing for an effective date. And that's the end of the consent agenda.
Thank you. Councilwoman Reed?
Thank you, Mayor Bradbury. Regarding the consent agenda, I would like to make a motion to pass, approve, or adopt whichever action is appropriate, items C1 through C14, inclusive with items C1, C5, C6, and C14 being first and final reading. The next public hearing will be held in council chambers on Thursday, September the 12th, 2024 at 6 p.m.
Second the motion.
Motion has been made and second. Any discussion by city council on items C1 through C14? Is there anybody in the audience that has any questions on any of these items? Seeing none. All those in favor? And
Aye.
Mark? Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. Can you see these down here? We do not have any regular agenda items. So at this time, we move on to council and staff comments for the evening. Vice Mayor Sabel?
I have nothing for the people tonight. Thank you.
Miss Patty?
I don't either.
Ricky goes
Ricky.
first.
Yeah, okay. I'll bite. So first, most people probably know, but my parents had a little bit of a fire at the house on Sunday night. So I just want to express my thanks and appreciation to the fire department, the police department. They did an incredible job. They still have a house, and it's of course salvageable. They get back in it soon. But I just want to express my thanks to both chiefs and their staff for everything. And really kind of the best thing about it was I got several follow-ups the next day from everybody. And it's not because it's me, but because I unfortunately have a couple friends that have experienced something similar. And our staff is always right there checking on them, visiting them at the hospital, things like that. So it's just, I really appreciate all that, because that's kind of the level of service I think we need to provide for all of our residents. And I appreciate it very much. So thank you. Second thing, I can't believe I'm saying this, but registration for the 51st Pinellas Park Christmas Parade starts on September 1st, so before our next meeting. So I have started my exit there, so I'm good, but I still have to be the messenger. So September 1st is when registration starts. The parade itself is Saturday, December 14th, starting at 6 p.m. You can learn more at celebratepinellaspark.com.
Did you volunteer somebody to start taking over for you?
I did. I did. We'll see how it goes.
Mr. Kim,
I'm good.
you're good?
I'm good.
Miss Lana, what do we got going on in the city?
Oh yeah, lots of announcements. We're coming up on the second disaster preparedness tax holiday, so that is August 24th through September 9th. So your second chance to get some supplies that might be needed in a hurricane or a disaster. On August 29th, we also have the Alive Day ride for Wounded Warriors that begins at Quaker Steak at 8 a.m. and goes throughout the city. You can register for that on their website, and we also have that on the Facebook, What's Happening Pinellas Park. You have the ability to register there as well. September 1st, Sunday, Market in the Park is back at England Brothers Park beginning at 10 a.m. Also, September 2nd is Labor Day, so all city offices and brush site will be closed in observance of that. But on Tuesday, September 23rd, we are making available our tickets, our individual tickets to the Performing Arts Center's 2025 season lineup. So that'll be a busy day at the Performing Arts Center. And first Saturday Art Walk is September 7th, beginning at 5 in the Pinellas Arts Village. And then lastly, Pinellas Park Cleanup Day is September 14th at 8 a.m. You can look for all the drop-off sites on our website and on our social media. That's all I have. Thank you.
Okay.
We just need to thank Miss Lauren for all her service and dedication to the city for the past few years. She's given me gray hairs, but it's been really good. She's been very protective of the city, and I can tell you, I thank you tremendously for what you've done for us. And we will miss you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Your hair turned gray. Mine
But she kept us out of trouble.
Yes, absolutely. Chiefs? Nothing? Nothing.
If I may.
Yes, ma'am.
I just want to say thank you and express my gratitude to the mayor, vice mayor, each of you on city council. I serve at your pleasure, but it has been my pleasure. And I will always keep Pinellas Park as a very special place in my heart. I think it's really neat that Ricky and Patty, I served also with your parents, and it's cool. Pinellas Park's a little family, and you all welcomed me in, and I just really want to thank you. I appreciate it. I want to thank Bart, of course, for being wonderful and tremendous to work with. Everything you do, Bart, you can see the love for the city and the employees and staff, and I see it on the other end too, working with administration and staff. They love you, and I'm really blessed to have been able to work with you. City Clerk's office, I appreciate. You all have been wonderful. You're our major line of communication a lot of times with the city. You keep us informed, and we appreciate everything you do, everything we ask of you. You're always quick to respond. You make our jobs easier as the city attorneys. And staff, employees, administration, I could not even begin to say how wonderful it has been to work with all of you. I work with a lot of jurisdictions, and I tell anyone and everyone that will listen that Pinellas Park is special, and they are just absolutely wonderful. And it's not just because I'm the city attorney, it's because of you all. And I started as a little bitty lawyer here 10 years ago, and I will admit what I knew as far as the inner workings of city life was probably pretty slim. I had an overview, but it was staff and administration that was always patient and answers questions and explains and makes sure that I know what I need to know in the background of everything so that I can make good legal decisions and advise you accordingly and advise counsel, of course. So I thank you all. One thing you all don't know, I just want to share. Many of you probably don't know. So the watch that I wear every day, it was a gift for my husband on the night that you all appointed me as city attorney. And on the back is inscribed with the date. So even though I am going, I will continue to wear the watch, and I will think of you all every day. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. I really mean it. I appreciate it. Thank you.
With that, we will say that everybody has a blessed couple of weeks until we see you again. The meeting is adjourned.
What's up, baby?